This is Friday 5 at 5 with the Denver Public Library. My name is Erin. I'm a librarian at DPL's Central Library, and in 15 minutes or less, we'll have you up to speed on 5 new titles out this month that we can't wait for you to read or listen to. Please note that new titles may not be added to Overdrive until after publication date, so if you don't see the titles in ebook or e-audio format, please check back. Though our featured Black History Today events wrap up at the end of February, our resources are available all year round. And today's Friday 5 at 5 is devoted to titles by Black writers about Black people. March brings in Women's History Month, and Denver Public Library has loads of offerings coming up. Our newest branch, Bob Ragland, has a special photography show about women who aren't typically recognized as being part of women's history. Older women of the LGBTQ+ community. There's also a candle-making suffragette tea party at the Park Hill branch, feminist bingo at Novel Strand Brewery, and Susie Q. Smith will be at the Green Valley Ranch branch discussing politics of biracial Black womanhood, with readings from her title, A Gospel of Bones poems. Details can be found about these events and others in the links below. And now for this month's titles. An Autobiography of Skin is a magisterial, intimate look at Black womanhood, from the sadness that is carried within the body to the connections of love that grant strength. By sending a young woman home to East Texas for a visit with the women in her family, author Lakeisha Carr lays bare their long-held grief, unassailable bonds, and need for healing. Meanwhile, readers meet characters from a hydrotherapist chasing away memories of violence by gambling, and a mother trying to protect her infant from racial oppression by bleaching its skin. This debut is a masterful portrait of interconnected generations in the South from a singular new voice, offering a raw and tender view into the private lives of Black women. Her characters endure monumental heartbreaks, both from their loved ones and a world that threatens all manner of violence, yet demands sacrifice in return. These women face life's inevitable disappointments, and while their choices may haunt us, they also remind us that romance somehow persists, as does the human spirit. It is at once a powerful look at how trauma is carried inside the body, inside the flesh and skin, and a dazzling testament to how healing can be found within, in love, mercy, gratitude, and freedom. From publisher Pantheon. If this book interests you, place a hold on The Personal Librarian by Marie Benedict, or dig into Britt Bennett's The Vanishing Half, which follows twin sisters who ultimately choose to live in two very different worlds. Our next book, Transitional, In One Way or Another We All Transition, draws on Monroe Bergdorf's own experiences, including being raised in a mixed-race family and starting her transition at the age of 24, eventually becoming a model and transgender activist. It features research from experts and activists to explore how deeply ingrained transitioning is in human experience. Bergdorf looks deeply into 6 topics, including adolescence, sexuality, gender, relationships, identity, and race, and explores the act of transitioning as something everyone faces in every phase of life. In a statement, the author said she hopes the book will help to educate all kinds of people. Through the story of one woman's extraordinary mission to live with authenticity, Transitional shows readers how to heal, how to build a stronger community, and how to evolve as a society out of shame and into pride. From publisher Harper One. For a similar title about late-in-life transitioning, check out This Body I Wore by Deanna Ghosh. For a fiction take on being transgender in our current society, try the book Didn't Nobody Give a Shit What Happened to Carlotta by James Hannaham. Ghosts of the Past haunt a family on the run in Johnny Compton's extraordinary debut novel, The Spite House, a Black Southern Gothic horror set in modern-day Texas. Spite houses are buildings constructed for the sole purpose of aggravating neighbors, for example, to obstruct their view or to create an eyesore adjoining their property. In this novel, the titular structure is the Masson House, a menacing four-story home with a bizarre architectural design built adjacent to an orphanage in DeGener, Texas. Eric Ross is on the run from a mysterious past with his two daughters in tow. Having left his wife, his house, and his whole life behind in Maryland, he's desperate for money. It's not easy to find steady, safe work when you can't provide references, you can't stay in one place for long, and you're paranoid that your past is creeping back up on you. When he comes across the strange ad for the Masson House, Eric thinks they may have finally caught a lucky break. The property, notorious for being one of the most haunted places in Texas, needs a caretaker of sorts. The owner is looking for proof of paranormal activity. All they need to do is stay in the house and keep a detailed record of everything that happens there. Provided the house's horrors don't drive them all mad, like the caretakers before them. The Spite House is not your typical haunted house novel. It tackles race in a compelling way, and Compton breaks up his story through multiple viewpoints, from Eric as well as elder daughter Des and other daughter Stacy. Experiencing the story from multiple characters gives a true authenticity to the novel, especially the supernatural and haunted elements. From publisher Tor Nightfire. If new takes on haunted house stories intrigue you, put a hold on the newly published How to Sell a Haunted House by Grady Hendrix. Or go back to the roots of this genre with the 1959 book The Haunting of Hill House by Shirley Jackson. Leah Penniman, author of Farming While Black and co-founder of Soul Fire Farm, shares her conversations with 16 Black environmentalists in this next title, Black Earth Wisdom, Soulful Conversations with Black Environmentalists. The voices and expertise of Black, Brown, and Indigenous environmentalists, amplified by all those who have eschewed white supremacy, must be heeded if we are to halt and reverse planetary calamity, writes the author in the introduction. This thought-provoking anthology brings together today's most respected and influential Black environmental voices, leaders who have cultivated the skill of listening to the earth, to share the lessons they have learned. These varied and distinguished experts include Pulitzer Prize and National Book Award winning author Alice Walker, the first Queen Mother and official spokesperson for the Gullah Geechee Nation, Queen Quet, marine biologist, policy expert, and founder and president of Ocean Collective, Dr. Ayanna Elizabeth Johnson, and the executive director of the North Carolina Association of Black Lawyers Land Loss Prevention Project, Savi Horn. In Black Earth Wisdom, they address the essential connection between nature and our survival, and how runaway consumption and corporate insatiability are harming the earth and every facet of American society, engendering racial violence, food apartheid, and climate injustice. From publisher HarperCollins. If you're looking for more books about Black environmentalists, read We Are Each Other's Harvests, Celebrating African American Farmers, Land, and Legacy by Natalie Bazile, or The Home Place, Memoirs of a Colored Man's Love Affair with Nature by J. Drew Lanahan. Following her Women's Prize shortlisted novel Stay With Me, Ayobami Adebayo returns with the tale of two families at opposing ends of the class system. Inyola is tall for his age, a boy who looks like a man. Because his father has lost his job, Inyola spends his days running errands for the local tailor, collecting newspapers, begging when he must, and dreaming of a big future. Worola is a golden girl, the perfect child of a wealthy family. Now an exhausted young doctor in her first year of practice, she is beloved by Conley, the volatile son of an ascendant politician. When a local politician takes an interest in Inyola and sudden violence shatters a family party, Worola and Inyola's lives become intertwined. While details of ornate jelly head wraps and fragrant bowls of peppered soup add layers of incredible color to Adebayo's tale, you can feel the visceral threat of violence and destruction crackling under the surface from early on, even in lighter scenes of family squabbles or lavish parties. This is a wisely observed, gripping, and bleak story with glowing moments of kindness and comedy among the tough times. Adebayo delivers a searing indictment of the country's corruption and gender inequalities and packs a powerful punch. From publisher Knopf. Two good read-alikes for this book are Prince of Monkeys by Nnamdi Iherim and Black Sunday, a novel by Tolo Rotimi Abraham. And, in case you missed it, Nadima Okorafor's Remote Control is a dark fantasy with African futuristic elements that explores life, death, and loneliness while chronicling a few years in the early life of a young girl who becomes the angel of death. Easy to read, emotionally gritty, and wildly imaginative, this is a short novel that takes readers into that wonderful place in fiction where genres collide and great character development leads to unforgettable protagonists. This is science fiction that's also a coming-of-age tale and, at times, a road novel, a survival narrative with elements of fantasy. Despite the plethora of enjoyable elements present, what truly makes it a satisfying read is Okorafor's writing. Okorafor has a deep understanding of human nature and knows the ways a single element can make someone an other, even within their own culture. However, despite putting people at the core of the narrative, she also finds space in this relatively short novel to talk about things like grief, guilt, and even a few critiques of technology. Everything's collecting data. Ultimately, Remote Control shines because it is a story of a girl looking for a seed who is herself the seed of a powerful woman, a woman who walks alone without fear because everything she needs to survive is contained within her. From publisher Tor.com. Want more Afrofuturism suggestions? Read The Deep by Rivers Solomon or Janelle Monáe's The Memory Librarian. That's all for this month. Thank you for tuning in to Denver Public Library's Friday 5 at 5, and we hope you enjoy these great reads and listens. Check out or place a hold on these titles and a whole lot more right now at denverlibrary.org, link below. Tune in next month for new recommended reads. Bye!